He protected the alien princess from a deadly blast, but woke up, surrounded by an entire alien court. Evan shoved Princess Saley behind the bulkhead. The corridor shuddered. Alarms wailed in shrill alien tones. A plasma charge detonated behind the blast door, buckling metal inches from his back. He braced his shoulders against the frame. Heat seared through his rescue suit. The princess's clawed hand gripped his arm, testing, not panicking. "Hold position," Evan said. His voice cut through the din. Standard protocol: contain, protect, extract. She hissed something in her tongue. Sharp syllables he didn't parse. No time for translation implants. The door groaned inward. Evan kicked a loose panel into the gap. It jammed halfway. Good enough. Smoke poured from a ruptured conduit overhead. Sparks danced like fireflies. Plasma leaked, hissing against the deck. He yanked emergency tape from his belt. 3 strips sealed the breach. No leaks. Contained. He dragged her toward the service hatch. Her lithe frame twisted free, but she followed. The hatch braided open on manual override. Evan shoved her inside first. Narrow tunnel, dim glow strips. Perfect for evasion. Footsteps echoed from the corridor. Armored boots. Pursuers.
Saley pointed ahead. Tunnel forks.
Guards ahead. Evan nodded. He scanned for comms. Alien console embedded in the wall. Icons pulsing. Flames, shields, beacons. He slammed the distress sequence. Icon logic matched human interfaces. Universal panic button. Ping launched. Red lights flashed confirmation. Help en route. Saley tugged his sleeve. Her golden eyes narrowed, assessing. "You understand our systems? Close enough."
Evan sealed the hatch behind them. They crawled forward.
The tunnel narrowed. The Saley's tail flicked irritation. Humans lacked such appendages. Fish out of water, but adaptable. Vibrations hummed through the walls, royal security closing in. Evan tapped his wrist beacon. Low-power human signal. Backup for the backup. She watched his hands. No fear. Calculation. A grate ahead buckled. Blaster fire scorched the tunnel lip. Down. Evan pinned her low. He returned fire with his compact pulse pistol. Human make. Reliable. 2 guards dropped. The rest flanked. Saley drew her ceremonial blade. It hummed to life. She slashed a probe drone midair. Impressive. But numbers favored them. Evan primed a flashbang. Cover eyes. The bang cracked. Guards recoiled, vision plates whiting out. He hauled her through the next hatch. Open bay ahead, docking arm of the palace ship.
Royal Guards swarmed from both ends. 20 strong.
Tactician Keth Moore led them, crest flared in command. Keth barked orders. Rifles locked on Evan. He raised empty hands. Saley behind him. Goal. Keep her breathing. Stand down, Zeno. Keth growled through a translator field. You interfere. Evan kept his stance loose. Rescue op. Princess secure. Guards advanced. Blasters hummed at full charge. Saley stepped forward. He saved me, tactician. Assassin struck.
Human countered. Teth's mandibles clicked doubt.
Contain the variable. They rushed him. Evan didn't resist. A guard baton cracked his knee. He dropped. Cuffs snapped on wrists, energy restraints, humming tight. They yanked him from Saley. She protested, but Keth waved her silent. Evan met her gaze, nodded once. Mission Phase 2. Survival. Medics swarmed her. Guards dragged him away, consciousness faded under stunner fire. Heaven woke to chains. Heavy links bound his arms to a marble pillar. Restraints hummed with containment fields, no weapons, no suit. He blinked against vaulted splendor. Crystal chandeliers dripped from a ceiling painted with stellar maps, royal throne room. Gold filigree swirled like galaxies. Alien courtiers lined the walls, whispering. Princess Saley stood on a dais, unharmed. Her robes mended, but a scar traced her cheek, souvenir from the blast. Regent King Threxel loomed on the throne, massive frame, jeweled crest pulsing authority. Eyes like polished obsidian fixed on Evan. Chamberlain Orun Vale flanked him. Slender robes embroidered with procedural sigils.
He sneered.
The human awakens. Primitive savior or convenient chaos? Evan tested the chains. Solid. Stay calm. Assess. Threxel raised a claw. Silence fell. Evan, Rook of Terra. You breached our vessel. Saved my heir. Protocol debrief. Assassination attempt. Corridor 12. I contained the blast. Courtiers murmured. A human grasping their icons? Impossible. Saeli spoke. He sealed the conduit with tape, dragged me through service ways, pinged our beacons flawlessly. Orun leaned in. A free competence, or sabotage, scripted. Why chain yourself to her fate? Evan met his gaze. Job requirement. Protect the principal. Drexel's crest flickered interest. Your species, first contact logs claim fragility, yet you braced a plasma door. Endured shrapnel. Training. Adrenaline helps. Keth Mar stepped forward, armor scarred from the tunnel fight. He outlasted my squad's flash counter. Human endurance defies models.
Orun waved dismissal. Contain him.
Quarantine the anomaly before it spreads doubt. Saeli's tail lashed. Father, he is no pawn. Test him. Threxel drummed claws on the armrest. Stability first. Human, your checklist saved her. What price? Evan scanned the room. Rivals eyed him. Opportunity or threat?
No price. Get me tools.
I'll secure the palace. Courtiers hissed. A human directing royals? Orun pressed. Arrogance. Threxel silenced him. Demonstrate. Guards unchained Evan. He rubbed wrists. Walked to a hollow console. Icons again. Security feeds. He pulled schematics. Weak points here. Assassins used service tunnels. Seal them.
Post-mixed teams.
Our doctrine favors drones, but this, Saeli watched Evan. Partner material? Her eyes said test passed.
Evan traced a breach. Rig redundance.
Human way. Back up everything. Threxel leaned forward.
You upend procedure. Evan met the king's gaze.
Procedure failed. Assassins got close.
Silence. Stretched. Courtiers shifted.
Threxel boomed. Integrate him. Under Keth's watch. Orun's mandibles ground. Plotting already. Saeli approached Evan. Voice low. You shield without throne games? Rare.
He nodded.
Just the job. Alarms blared anew. Hollow showed intruders breaching outer docks. Evan grabbed a guard scanner. On me. Keth barked orders. Squad formed. Aliens and one human. Saeli fell in beside him. Blade ready. They charged. Evan's checklist hummed. Contain, protect, win. But Orun lingered in shadows. His comms whispered to unseen allies. The human variable destabilized everything. Evan braced for the next blast. Ordinary work. Extraordinary stakes. Evan Rook shoved the medic's injector arm aside. Burns seared his forearms, raw from the blast that had rocked the outer docks. He swung his legs off the medical dais. The alien healer's compound eyes widened. Sedation mandatory. The healer clicked, mandibles twitching. Human tolerances uncharted. Evan stood. Fabric of his scorched jumpsuit peeled from blistered skin. Pain spiked, but he cataloged it. Second degree, no nerve damage. Checklist item 1. Assess scene. Courtiers clustered at the chamber's edge. Hollow feeds flickered behind them, replaying the breach. Bodies of intruders lay twisted in the feeds. Scaled hides ruptured by Keth's squad fire, but one had detonated early. Shrapnel and plasma had caught Evan mid-charge. Princess Saeli pushed through the group. Her iridescent scales gleamed under emergency lights. He shielded me.
Her voice cut sharp. No gratitude wasted. Let him stand.
Evan ignored the stares. He stepped to the blast crater. Scorch patterns radiated outward, blackened streaks on alloy walls. He traced them with a finger, following the angle of dispersal. Residue glowed faint blue. Plasma residue, not thermal. There. He jabbed at a maintenance access panel, half hidden behind a conduit cluster. Blast originated inside that hatch. Assassin planted it before we hit the docks. Silence dropped. Kethmar strode forward, scanner in grip. The tactician's armored crest flared. He swept the panel. Confirmed. Microcharge signature. How did you? Patterns don't lie.
Evan pried the hatch. Hinges groaned.
Inside, a singed harness dangled, laced with royal encryption keys. He ran this way after arming. Courtiers hissed. Chamberlain Orun Vale thrust forward, robes swirling. His elder mandibles clamped tight. This human dissects our security like vermin. Unknown origin. Unvetted physiology. He breached protocols himself, touching classified access. Evan straightened. Dust motes swirled in the hatch's glow. Orun's eyes locked on him, calculating. Confinement, Orun declared. To the outer holds. until vetted by full tribunal. He inspires fringe houses. Whispers of human savior destabilize the court. Rifles hummed to life. Sayeli's tail lashed.
Stand down.
She faced Keth. Tactician, this rescuer stays alive, under your direct command.
He just handed us the assassin's path. Hello.
Keth hesitated. His gaze flicked from Evan to the harness.
Doctrine requires isolation for Xenos, but...
Results. Affirmative, Highness. Squad, escort the human. Armored detail. Evan rubbed his burns. No time for salve. Tools. Scanner overrides. We trace that path now. Orun's mandibles ground. Reckless, the Regent King decides. Alarms whooped anew. Holofeed zoomed. Shadows stirred in sublevels. Motion blips converged on the palace core. Keth barked. Multiple signatures. Service tunnels. Your weak points, human.
Evan grabbed a guard scanner.
Interface bit back. Alien glyphs. But muscle memory kicked in. He synced it to his wrist comp remnant. On me. Flank alpha route. Sayeli, you take elevated overlook. She gripped her blade, eyes narrowing.
Test or trust?
You presume much.
He let out. Boots echoed on grated floors.
Squad fell in. 6 aliens pressed slow, weapons hot. Burns throbbed with each step, but adrenaline dulled it. Ordinary shift. Alien apocalypse. They hit the sublevels. Air hummed thick, laced with ozone. Pipes hissed steam. Evan swept the scanner. Left fork. 50 meters. Thermal ghosts. Keth signaled drones. Buzzing spheres detached from his belt, zipping ahead. Our eyes. One drone popped, shredded by fire. Blaster bolts scorched the tunnel. Sighted down the barrel. Human aim. Steady, no augments.
He squeezed.
Target dropped, cloaked figure crumpling. Aliens fired discipline bursts. Drones swarmed, pinning, but numbers pressed. 8 intruders, blades flashing. Sayeli vaulted from a catwalk. Her strike severed a foe's arm. Grace lethal.
Evan, flank.
He charged. Burns split open, blood-slicking grips. Rifle bucked. 2 down. Human lungs burned longer, no gill filters like theirs. But he pushed. Rig the junction. Collapse it. Keth tossed a grav mine. Evan slapped it home. Boom echoed. Tunnel sealed in rubble. Panting squad regrouped. Sayeli wiped blade Iker. Close. Too close. Her gaze lingered on Evan's arms.
You endure. Trained for it.
He scanned debris. Comms fragment.
Orun's frequency. Impossible. Evan held it up. Royal seal etched faint. Plot thickens. Back in the core chamber, Threxel loomed on dais. Hollow throne projected his bulk. Report.
Keth saluted.
Intruders routed. Human-led breach.
Uncovered evidence. Threxel's eyes gleamed. Orun's mark. Chamberlain bowed low. Fabricated. Human sleight. Evan stepped forward. Burns untreated. Sleeves charred rags. Trace it. Palace logs don't lie. Courtiers murmured. Fringe houses? Loyalists? Evan clocked the shifts. Alliances cracking. Threxel drummed claws. Integrate deeper. Human advises security reform. Keth executes. Orun recoiled. Sire, he upends. Results.
Threxel cut him. Princess, bind him to your detail.
Sayeli nodded. She approached Evan as squad dispersed.
Voice pitched low for his ears. Unclassifiable. What drives a human to this? Evan met her gaze. Scales shifted hue, curiosity. Crisis response. Save who you can. No throne games. Her tail brushed his arm. Light, deliberate. Stay close. Partners test limits.
He nodded.
Checklist hummed. Secure perimeter. Vet allies. Survive court. Night cycle dimmed lights. Evan patched Burns in a side alcove. Keth posted guards. Drones hummed patrol. Footsteps clicked. Orun.
Human.
Venom laced the word. Withdraw. Palace stability demands it. Or, accidents multiply. No rifle. Hands only. Threats don't phase. Seen worse on colony rigs? Orun leaned in. Breath reeked chem sweet. You breathe atmosphere we weaponize. Endure? Scanner pinged. Evan glanced intruder blip, closing on princess quarters. Move. He shoved past. Orun snarled. Evan sprinted corridors. Burns screamed. Guards trailed. Blast rocked ahead. Sally's door buckled. He kicked through smoke. Assassin pinned her, blade at throat. Cloak bore, Oruan sigil. Evan tackled. Fists flew. Human brawler, no claws, but leverage. He pinned wrenched blade free. Siley rose, slit throat, precise.
Keth burst in. Secure.
Evan gasped. Air? Told you. Logs.
Dawn lit the court. Threxel convened emergency.
Orun chained, mandibles slack. You wielded the variable. Threxel rumbled to Evan. Stability preserved. Saili stood beside. Hand on his shoulder, protective now. He stays. Reforms begin. Evan scanned feeds. Clear. For now. But shadows lingered in sublevels. Human endurance, just the start. Alarms flickered once more. Deeper breach. Evan's grip tightened. Next checklist. End the nest. Keth's claws clicked on the polished floor. He shoved Evan toward a side corridor. Move, human, deeper breach confirmed. Sublevels. Burns pulled tight under fresh bandages. He tapped his tablet, syncing guard drone feeds. Lead. Security corridors twisted like veins. Hollow barriers flickered blue at each junction. Keth waved a claw. First checkpoint hummed alive. Drones swarmed, scanners bathing Evan in red light.
Arms out. Keth barked.
Protocol. No weapons. Just the tablet. Drones buzzed closer, probing for chemtraces. One latched his sleeve.
He flicked it off.
Clear me. Time's bleeding. Keth's mandibles twitched. Endurance noted. But Palace Doctrine misses nests. Evan stepped through as the barrier parted. Seen it on rigs. Assassin's burrow. Second checkpoint loomed. Armored sentries blocked the path. Keth signaled. They leveled pulse rifles. Human anomaly. Verify. Rifles hummed charge. A sentry lunged, claw testing his collar for trackers.
Evan sidestepped smooth. Grabbed the claw mid-motion.
Twisted just enough. Sentry yelped. Keth's eyes narrowed. Untrained? Trained enough. Evan released. Rig safety. Humans grab what bites. Barrier cycled green. They pushed deeper. Evan swiped his tablet. Guard rotation scrolled. Patterns every 47 seconds. Gaps at turns. He marked blind spots, vents, shadow alcoves. Here. Nest likely. Unpatrolled. Keth glanced. Speculation. Data. Evan overlaid drone paths. Red zones pulsed. Fringe houses whisper. Oren's child wasn't solo. Air grew thick, chem sweet, echoes of claws on stone. Keth halted at a sealed hatch. Damaged wing ahead. Assassin's fallback. Scorch marks scarred the frame. Now. Restricted. Keth crossed arms. Team's handle. Evan shouldered past. Your teams missed the first bomb. Seconds live. He pried the manual override. Sparks flew. Hatch groaned open. Smoke billowed. Keth grabbed his shoulder. Halt. Protocol. Evan twisted free. Flashlight beam cut debris. Twisted metal. Exposed conduits. Safety shutdown. Hands on. He traced wires, spotting the jury-rigged trigger. Alien tech pulse sensitive. Pull power here. Keth snarled. Human. Stand down. Evan yanked the conduit. Sparks erupted. Lights died in the wing. Emergency reds kicked in. Shutdown complete. No remote det. Keth's scanner pinged. Power severed. Confirmed. Mandibles slackened. How did you rigs teach? Evan marked more blind spots. Nest arrowed sub-level 3. Deeper. Princess quarters link here. They sealed the wing. Evan led now. Tablet guided through service tunnels. Guards trailed, rifles low. Whispers hissed from shadows, fringe dialects. Evan logged audio. Saili's voice crackled on comms. Rook. Status. Mapping nest. Evan kept pace. Stay put. Barrier up. Threxel grants you leash. Her tone sharpened. Use it. Orun's allies stir. Keth grunted. Regent King observes. Prove value. Evan nodded. Blind spot ahead. Vent grate loose. He knelt. Pried it. Dust choked air. Crawl space yawned. Cover me. Keth blocked.
No. Doctrine forbids. Evan dropped in.
Boots scraped durcrete. Follow or lag. He crawled, tablet glow lighting tripwires. Human shoulders wedged tight. Perfect fit for narrow gaps. Claws would snag. Behind, Keth cursed. Maneuvered bulkier frame. Sentries piled in. Evan emerged in sublevels. Damp vaults, flickering holomaps. Assassin caches, blades, chemvials. Oruan's sigil-etched crates. Nest confirmed. Guards fanned out. Keth burst through. Secure perimeter. Too late. Click echoed. Pressure plate.
Evan lunged down. Blast ripped air.
Shrapnel screamed. Evan tackled Sayeli. She'd tailed silent. Pulled her into alcove cover. Slamming emergency barrier with his shoulder.
Metal buckled, sealed. Debris rained.
Barrier groaned. Sayeli gasped beneath him. You anticipated. Checklist. Evan checked her. Scratches only. His burns reopened. Blood slick. Clear? She nodded. Claws gripped his arm. Not pawn. Partner testing. Always. Keth pounded outside. Breach contained. Human, report. Evan hauled barrier override. Cracked it open. Smoke cleared. Nest smoldered. 2 assassins charred. Sigils burned. Fringe house marks. Threxel's voice boomed comms. Rook. You mapped what Doctrine missed. Evan stood. Tablet updated. Nest ended. But feeds glitched. Deeper ping. 1 down. Regent King. Authorize full sweep. Chamberlain Oruan's trial feed flickered on a wall hollow. Chained, he sneered. Variable breaks. Houses rise. Sayeli rose beside Evan. Hand on his shoulder lingered. Protective. He stays. Reforms map blind spots. Keth saluted. Adapts. Evan scanned feeds. Clear. Palace protocols locked tight. Guards doubled. Drones hummed perfect patrol. Then alarms wailed. Sub levels. Third device armed. Protocol shattered. Evan gripped tablet. Next checklist. Rooted out. Together. Partner. Ought. Evan nodded. Human endurance fueled the charge.
Aliens brought claws. Palace trembled.
Deeper they plunged. Whispers grew to roars. Fringe lords rallied. Oron's web wider. Evan marked patterns. Rotation skipped. Drones jammed. Trap ahead.
Keth signaled halt. Checkpoint 4, reinforced bulkhead.
Sentries waited, but eyes darted. Traitors.
Evan tapped tablet. Flank vents. Silent air. Claws ready. Blast rocked bulkhead. Not full debt feint. Evan charged center. No rifle. Fists and leverage. Grabbed first attacker mid-leap. Human wrestler. Grounded the claw fighter. Slammed into deck. Keth fired pulses. Precise. 2 down. Sayeli slit a throat. Precise. Evan wrenched a blade free. Tossed to Keth. Doctrine plus this. Bulkhead breached. Inner vault. Hollow altar to fringe houses. Leader cloaked. Mandibles scarred.
Human filth.
Throne falls. Rolled low. Tablet pinged weak spot. Altar power core. Shut down. Keth covered. Sayeli flanked.
Evan dove. Yanked core.
Altar died. Leader lunged. Evan sidestepped. Tripped with rig hook grab. Pinned. Silese's blade ended it. Nest Queen. Threxel arrived with honor guard. Eyes on Evan. Stability reclassified.
Evan wiped blood. Burns throbbed.
Checklist clear. But sublevels rumbled. 4th ping. Protocol ghosts. Sayeli leaned close. You endure. We adapt. Evan gripped her arm. Protective mutual. Deeper. They descended. Human calm met alien steel. Court watched. Fears classified wrong. Alarms peaked. Core vault ahead. Final nest pulsed. Evan slammed the vault door open. Alarms screamed. The core nest pulsed red. Dozens of fringe assassins coiled around the throbbing power nexus, mandibles clicking in chant.
Sayeli hissed beside him.
Queen's brood. Cut the core. Keth flanked right, pulse rifle humming. Drexel's guards piled in behind, but Evan waved them wide. Flanks only. Center's mine. He charged low. First assassin lunged, claws raking air. Evan rolled under, hooked its leg with his rig cable, yanked hard. Alien sprawled. He drove elbow into its throat plate. Crack, down, chemspray hissed from the left. Evan twisted, fabric burning his arm. Pain flared, ignored. Tablet pinged, nexus weak point. Ventral node. Sayeli there, she darted, blade flashing. Sliced a path through 2. Keth's pulses dropped 3 more. Guards fired wild, but held the line. Queen loomed at the nexus. Twice Evan's size, scarred shell gleaming. Throne crumbles. It reared, tail whip cracking. Evan dodged, grabbed a fallen claw blade. Too heavy. Dropped it. Used momentum instead, vaulted onto a drone husk, launched at her underbelly. Fist connected. Human punch. Dense bone. Full torque. Shell cracked. Queen shrieked, mandible snapping inches from his face. Saeli leaped onto her back. Claws dug in.
Now, Evan gripped the ventral node, twisted with both hands.
Sparks flew. Nexus died. Lights flickered. Nest went dark. Queen bucked. Evan held legs locked. She slammed him into the wall. Ribs protested. He punched again. Deeper crack. Keth's shot pierced her eye.
She collapsed. Saeli rolled free.
Evan slid down, gasping. Blood slicked the deck. Silence fell. Threxel stepped forward, eyes locked on Evan. Threats ended. Human, invaluable.
Evan stood, wiping ichor. Checklist done.
Surface now. They ascended. Lifts groaned under guard weight. Saeli's gaze lingered on his burns. No words. Mutual respect sealed in blood. Court atrium gleamed above. Crystal spires, hovering drones. Lords waited. Whispers rippled as Evan emerged. Human rags torn. Alien gore streaking his skin. Chamberlain Oruan Vale glided forward, robes whispering. Hero of the vaults, the Regent King requires your oath. Kneel. Evan scanned the space. High arches, guard rotations tight. No skips now. Threats neutralized, but patterns lingered. He needed gear. Oath, later. Gear first. Orun's mandibles twitched. Protocol demands. Evan pulled his battered tablet. Uploaded the threat checklist. Step by step. Rotations, vents, chem signatures, feints. This saved your princess. Trade. Medgel, rig harness, pulse pistol. Basics. Guards shifted. Keth nodded once. He speaks truth. Field doctrine evolved. Orun's eyes narrowed. Data flowed to his implant. Checklist detailed. Human precision. Very well. Gear granted. Now kneel. Evan ignored the mat. Crossed arms. No rituals. Practical plan instead. Saeli entered from a side arch, her wounds bandaged, but eyes sharp. She circled him slow, watching his hands. Calloused, steady. No tremble. You refused the bond vow. Why? Evan met her gaze. Vows bind, plans protect. Step 1. Audit drones. Jammers hit 3 nodes. Step 2. Rotate guards hourly. Human pattern. Step 3. Your shadow detail. Mixed species. She tilted head, claws flexing. Tested his stance. You treat court like disaster zone. Works. He held still. Her inspection lingered. Protector or pawn? Threxel arrived on dais, throne humming. Lords bowed. Evan Rook.
Swear fealty. Stabilize my line.
Evan stepped forward. No kneel. Fealty's words. Here's action. Full sweep sublevels. Seal fringe altars. I lead it. Gasps echoed. Oruan leaned to aid, whispering. Hollow screens flickered. News feeds.
Saeli's claw brushed his arm. Light.
Testing. Bold.
Keth grunted approval. Endurance proven.
Doctrine adapts. Threxel drummed claws.
Refusal noted, but utility outweighs. Orun's voice cut smooth. Utility? Or ploy? He activated a court-wide hollow grainy footage. Evan staging vent breaches, planting decoys. The human orchestrated rescues. Infiltrator from fringe worlds. Seeks throne leverage. Murmurs swelled. Lords pointed claws. Guards tensed. Evan's jaw set. Fake feeds. Deep fakes. Human tech recognized. Lies. Check timestamps. My checklist predicted your leaks. Saeli snarled. Orun. Proof? Chamberlain smiled thin. Circumstantial.
He won't kneel.
Conspirator. Threxel raised claw. Human defend. Evan tapped tablet. Counterdata streamed. Real jammer logs, matching Orun's aids.
Your web, Chamberlain.
Wider than nests. Orun paled. Slander. Keth scanned feeds. Verified. Human trace infallible. Saeli stepped between. He endures. We test him, partner. Evan gripped her offered arm. Grip firm. Mutual. Gear now. Plan rolls. Threxel nodded slow. Reclassified, gear issued. But eyes watch. Aurum retreated, mandibles clicking fury. Lords split, some bowed to Evan, others glared. Evan donned the harness, pulse pistol snug, medgel cooled burns. Next rotation skips? No. We fix. Saili matched his stride. Court fears your calm.
Ordinary gets results.
Drones hummed active. Guards reformed. But a shadow aide slipped away. Orun's mark. Whispers spread. Evan spotted it. Tapped tablet. Pattern 2.
They moved. Princess shadowed by human.
Court trembled. Alarms quieted, but intrigue pulsed. Deeper threats brewed. Evan checked list. Gear ready. Princess alive. Oren's leaked story hit every feed. Human staged it all. Pawn no more. Threat eternal. They classify wrong. We adapt. Saili's eyes gleamed. Partner proven. Threxel watched from throne. Stability teetered. Human variable, uncontainable. Keth signaled new rotation. Tight. Your doctrine holds. Evan nodded. Checklist clear. But watch vents. A faint rumble echoed. Sub-level echoed. Or new nest. Saili leaned in. Deeper still, Evan gripped blade. Always. Court eyes burned. Fears misclassified. Human courage. Leverage unbreakable. Guards escorted them to armory wing. Evan loaded clips. Saili mirrored, claws sheathed in vibro gauntlets. You negotiate like traitor, no fear. Checklists trade lives. He tested harness, snug, alien alloy light, perfect. Oruan's hollow feed looped in corner. Evan's crimes dramatized. Lords gathered outside, chants rising. Contain the outsider! Keth burst in. Rally forming up. Regent King calls assembly. Oath or exile. Plan B, demo. Assembly hall thrummed. Crystal throne elevated Trexel. Oruan flanked rights. Aides beaming falsified scans. Lords packed tears. Fringe sympathizers mixed. Evan strode center. No kneel. Saili at his side. Regal. Conspirator! Orun projected. He faked rescues to bind the air. Evan raised tablet. Live feed. Archived vault cams synced to checklist. Assassins fell. Human fists first. Predicts. Protects. Results. Lords leaned. Proof undeniable. Threxel's voice boomed. Oath human. Or leave. Evan faced him. Plan protects better. Sign it. Scanned the offered holocontract. Guard rotations, drone audits, mixed details. Threxel's claw hovered. Signed. Cheers, mixed with hisses. Orun seethed.
Stability feigned, Saili claimed day a step, whereas mileman stay their step.
Partner.
Evan felt her presence, solid.
Protective loop closed. But Orun signaled an aid. Drone flickered overhead, jammer pulse. Evan's tablet pinged. Trap, now. He yanked Saili down. Pulse. Pulse slammed the assembly hall floor where Saili stood seconds before. Evan rolled her behind the dais, shielding her body with his. Shards of crystal throne rained down. Lords screamed, scrambling for exits. Threxel's guards fired at shadows. Drone strike, Keth bellowed, tackling a fleeing aide. His blade pinned the figure's cloak. Saili gripped Evan's arm, claws retracted. You saw it coming.
Ping warned me. Evan scanned his tablet.
Jammer residue flickered on the readout. Orun's aide vanished into the crowd. Keth hauled his captive up. This one triggered it, but the source? Evan checked Saili's vitals. Steady pulse, no wounds. Decoy run. Draw the bomber out. Threxel's voice cut through the din from a shielded balcony. Protect the air. Keth execute. Keth nodded to Evan. Armory convoy. Now. Fringe routes bait them. They sprinted for the side arch. Guards formed a wedge around them. Chants twisted outside. Outsiders curse. Procession launched into the underhall tunnels. Hover sleds hummed, lights strobing off iridescent walls. Saili rode shotgun in the lead sled, vibro gauntlets humming. Evan flanked her, pistol drawn, eyes on the rear scanners. Keth drove point. Bombers favor microdrones. Cluster bombs on turns. Evan nodded, checklist ticking in his head. Scan perimeters. Check couplings. Slow at junction 3. Force exposure. Tunnel curved. Saili leaned close. You treat war like maintenance. Saves checklists. He patted her harness, snug. A glint caught his eye. Fist-sized drone wedged in event grade ahead. Red sensor winked. There, Evan pointed. Micro-drone. Keth swerved. Shoot it, too armored. Evan scavenged a power coupler from the sled's exposed panel. Armory spare jury-rigged earlier. He yanked wires, sparked a feedback loop. Jamming pulse. Coupler latched to the drone's hull. Electromagnetic whine built. Drone sparked, plummeted. Explosion rocked the tunnel. Contained, no shrapnel. Sleds braked hard. Keth leaped out. Scanner sweeping debris, trigger case intact. He pried it open. Court seal gleamed. Regent's inner circle stamp. Evan covered them. Pistol sweeping shadows. Points inside. Junior aide burst from a side passage. Robes askew. Inspection. Stand down. Keth's claws snapped cuffs. You. Explain the seal.
Aide paled, mandibles clicking.
Routine drone. Malfunction. Lee stepped forward, eyes narrowing. Vault cams caught your shift swap. Keth dragged the aide back to the sleds. Regent King must see this. Convoy reversed to the Grand Atrium. Lords regrouped, whispers buzzing. Threxel loomed on his restored throne, Oruan at his side, projecting calm. Keth shoved the aide forward, trigger from court armory. Seal matches yours, Chamberlain. Fabrication. The human-tampered scavenged parts prove sabotage. Evan holstered his pistol. Stayed silent, let evidence speak. Lords murmured. A fringe voice rose. Outsider saves air again. Oruan projected hollow scans. Evan's coupler modded with alien tech.
He builds weapons here. Infiltrator.
Scieli hissed.
He jammed it.
Saved us. Drexel's gaze locked on Evan. Proof conflicts. Public trial. Human testifies first.
Evan felt the shift. Cheers died.
Hisses rose. Oruan's eyes gleamed.
Keth leaned in.
They flip it. Your jam. Evidence of plot. Scieli touched Evan's sleeve. Stand with me. Crystal benches packed with lords. Threxel presided from elevated dais. Oruan paced the prosecutor's alcove, aides beaming falsified logs. Evan stood accused center pit, wrists in light cuffs, non-lethal, but they itched. Scieli watched from the heirs box, guarded. Keth flanked the evidence table, drone husk and trigger case under scan. Evan Rook, Oruan toned voice amplified. You enter our realm unclassified. No species oath. You wield forbidden tech, human jury rig.
Admit, you planted the drone to bind the air.
Evan met his gaze. Jammed it. Check the wreckage. Oruan waved a hollow. Playback looped. Evan hurling the coupler. See? He arms it himself. Scavenged from our sleds. Trespass. Lords leaned forward. A sympathizer shouted. He predicted the pulse. Oruan spun. Trained assassins signal their pawns. Human endurance masks it. He tires not. Unnatural. Keth shifted. Evan caught his glance. Doubt cracking the tactician's mask. Threxel raised a claw. Evidence? Keth presented the trigger. Court seal. Aide confessed under truth serum. Oruan's orders. Test the outsider. Gasps rippled. Oruan recoiled. Lies. The aide's Evan's plant. Trill logs show human access to armory. Evan's cuffs hummed, tightening. He flexed. Human grip held. Run the drone core. My jam fried its outbound signal. Court freak locked. Text complied. Hollow bloomed. Signal traced to Oruan's private relay. Silence crushed the chamber. Oruan snarled. Tampered post-jam. The human's chaos breeds this. Trial him for conspiracy, remove the variable. Drexel's mandibles worked. Lord split, half chanting justice, half protector. Scieli stood. Father, he saved me thrice. Partner, not pawn. Evan locked eyes with Threxel. Calm held. Checklist complete. Expose, protect, leverage. But Oruan signaled discreetly. A side door hissed. Armed figures moved. Keth tensed. Threxel boomed. Adjourn. Human confined, till verdict. Evan didn't resist. Scieli's gaze burned promise. Cell block hummed with force fields. Evan sat on the bunk, tablet confiscated but memory sharp. Footsteps echoed. Keth entered, alone. Oruan pushes execution clause. Unclassed threat. Evan nodded. Expected. Decoy worked. Drew the bomber. Keth's claws tapped. Your endurance, we doctrine against it. Humans don't flag. Evan stood. Plan C. Breakout? Keth hesitated. Threxel wavers. Show him more.
Alarm blare! Intruders!
Airwing. Evan moved first. Silently, they burst into the corridor. Blaster fire lit the dark. Assassins, fringe cloaks, but court blades. Keth downed one. Evan tackled another checklist flow. Disarm, pin, cuff. Saeli fought from a breach, gauntlets whirring. Evan! He reached her, yanked her clear. Drone swarm incoming, micros again.
Coupler? Keth yelled. Memory. Evan stripped a wall panel, twisted conduits, sparked a pulse bomb.
Tossed it midair. Swarm fried. Partner. Threxel's voice echoed hall-wide.
Cease! Human proven!
Lords flooded in, cheers drowning hisses. But Evan spotted it. A final drone, cloaked, targeting Threxel's dais. Seal gleamed, or runes.
He sprinted. No time for scavenged.
Leaped, fist-shattering hull. Shrapnel grazed his side. Blood welled. Hall gasped. Human blood. Rare sight. Threxel stared. Sacrifice. Checklist. Escordinary. Kath saluted. Doctrine update. Humans first.
Orun dragged in chains. Stability. Threxel silenced him.
Human oath optional. Partnership sealed. Evan exhaled. Loop closed. But whispers lingered. More seals hidden. Tablet pinged in his pocket. Smuggled. Trap deeper. Vault breach. He met Saeli's eyes. Next checklist loaded.
Evan slammed the holopad onto the tribunal dais.
Log entry 1432. Perimeter guards cleared for maintenance. Blast hits at 1437. 4 minutes unaccounted. Who issued the clearance? The chamber fell silent. Crystal chimes hummed from the vaulted arches, but Evan's voice cut through. He stood in the heart of Vera Prime's grand tribunal, surrounded by tiered benches packed with courtiers. Holologs flickered before Regent King Threxel's throne, projecting timelines in sharp blue. Chamberlain R. Uan Vale leaned forward from his podium, frills quivering. Irrelevant, human. Procedure dictates? Procedure? Evan swiped the display. A new overlay bloomed. Guard rosters synced to drone feeds. Guard shift signed off by your deputy, Orun. Same deputy who logged the micros as faulty calibration. Cross-reference vault access. Your seal. 1425. Murmurs rippled. Threxel's multifaceted eyes narrowed on the King Regent. Princess Saeli sat rigid beside her father, her iridescent scales catching the light. She watched Evan, unblinking. Orun's claws tapped his console. Circumstantial. The human extrapolates without context. Context. Explosive residue matches palace armory stocks. Your requisition. Logged yesterday. Assassins used court blades. Fringe cloaks were decoys. Timeline pins your office. Keth Mar, the tactician, shifted in his security alcove. His armored pauldrons gleamed. He cross-checked his own pad, mandibles clicking doubt. Threxel raised a claw. Evidence mounts, Chamberlain. Orun's frills flared crimson. This hearing tests the human's loyalty, not palace minutia. He disrupts stability. Evan jabbed the hollow.
Disrupts? Your logs contradict 3 witnesses.
Guards didn't clear themselves. Courtiers hissed. A lordling shouted, "Contain the outsider." Threxel silenced them with a gesture. Proceed, Rook.
Evan felt the room's weight. Air thick with alien pheromones. Tension soured it.
His side ached from the shrapnel graze, bandaged tight under his vest. Checklist. Expose the gap. Force admission. Orun signaled subtly. 2 guards in ceremonial plate advanced from the flanks, plasma lances humming low. Detain the human, Orun barked. He oversteps protocol. Remove him. For permanent quarantine. Evan tensed. No weapon on him. Tribunal rules. Guards closed. Lances rising. Saeli's gauntlet beeped sharp. A single pulse. Evan's wrist comm vibrated. Contingency signal. Plan C. Keth Mar exploded from his alcove. Tactician override. Off-book extraction. Now. Chaos erupted. Courtier surged. Threxel bellowed. Hold! Evan vaulted the dais edge, rolling into Saeli's reach. She yanked him behind her throne shield, gauntlets deploying microshields. Blaster bolts scorched the stone. Keth fired precise bursts, dropping the lead guards. Void's access, Evan. Lead. Evan scanned the chamber walls. Maintenance grates, hidden behind tapestries. Palace schematics memorized days ago. This way. Saeli blasted the great latch. Sparks flew. They dove in as Keth covered, his rifle chewing through a third guard's armor. Darkness swallowed them. Vents hummed, laced with coolant mist. Evan took point, flashlight beam cutting pipes and conduits. Footsteps thundered behind. Pursuit squad. Lockdown, Evan said. He wrenched a junction box free, exposing power relays. Sigh, Lally, coupler wrench? She slapped it into his palm. Precise alien tool, hexagonal grip perfect for humans. Evan twisted relays, bridging hot leads. Sparks arced. Overloads cascaded. Bulkhead ahead groaned, sealing with a hydraulic hiss. Pursuit halted, muffled curses echoing. Nice, Keth grunted, checking his rifle charge. Doctrine lacks that. Evan pressed on. Voids twisted like a gutted beast. Pipes wept condensation. Floors grated underfoot. His boots slipped once. He caught a strut. Saeli steadied him, her touch cool through scales. Blast residue, she whispered. You saw it first. Partner. Evan nodded. Checklist halfway. They emerged in sublevels, emergency lights pulsing red. Alarms wailed. Intruders in air vaults. Seal breach imminent. Keth halted. Trap. Aurun's play. Vault holds succession crystals. Drexel's lineage encoded.
Ping confirmed. Vault breach. Deeper.
Saeli's eyes gleamed. We stop it. Evan mapped the route. Elevator shaft, bypass guards. Improv barriers en route. They pried the shaft doors. Descent cables hummed. Evan rigged a quick break from salvaged wire. Repelling first. Wind whistled past. Shaft reeking of ozone. Halfway down, hatch clanged open above. Pursuit drones whirred. 6 micros, blades spinning. Swarm, Keth fired. Clipping 2. Evan stripped a service panel mid-descent. Yanking fiber bundles. Pulse again. Saeli tossed her gauntlet power cell. He jury-rigged it to the cables. Feedback loop. Electromagnetic burst rippled up. Drones fritzed, plummeting past in showers of sparks. They hit bottom running. Vault antechamber loomed. Irised doors. Guarded by elite bladesmen. 4. Blades humming violet. Keth charged left flank. Flank and pin. Evan went low, grabbing a loose deck plate. Shield bash cracked one's knee joint. Saeli's gauntlets whirred, plasma arcs felling another. Keth downed the third. Last bladesman lunged at Evan. Blade grazed his arm. Sizzling flesh. Evan countered. Elbow to throat, knee to groin. Improvised cuff from cable ties. Alien wheezed. Down. Clear. Evan panted. Blood trickled, but adrenaline burned it off. Saeli overrode the vault iris. Retinal scan, her eye glowing. Doors parted. Inside. Crystal spires pulsed, encoding Vera DNA helixes. A cloaked saboteur hunched at the core console. Orun's seal on his vambrace. Micro-charged armed, countdown ticking. 2 o'clock. Stop, Saeli commanded. Saboteur spun, detonator in claw. For stability, Evan lunged.
Tackle low disarmed him clean. Checklist, secure, neutralize.
Keth cuffed the intruder. Saeli disarmed the charge. Crystal safe. Tribunal comms crackled through Keth's helmet. Drexel's voice boomed. Hearing reconvened. Verdict. Human executed for treason. Escape proves guilt. Evan froze. Early call. Erwin's puppets stacked the chamber. Saeli gripped his shoulder. Not yet. Doctrine shift. Protect the proven. Evan eyed the crystals. Whispers from shadows. More seals glinted. Deeper trap armed. Alarms spiked anew. Execution squads inbound. Evan loaded the next checklist. Vault codes to shuttle bay. Go. Evan slammed the vault iris shut behind them. Keth dragged the cuffed saboteur by the collar spikes. Saeli punched shuttle bay codes into her gauntlet. Alarms wailed louder. Red strobes painted the corridor crimson. Reactor gallery ahead. Keth growled. Detonator net active. Orun's work. Evan gripped the alien's vambrace seal. Now his trophy. Checklist. Intercept. Disable. Extract. Footsteps thundered from both ends. Execution squads closing. They burst into the gallery. Vast chamber hummed with fusion coils snaking up walls like glowing veins. Hollow nets flickered. Microcharges webbed the core. Countdown at 1:45. A second bomber crouched at the override panel. Orun's seal gleaming on his chest plate. He spun, claw snapping a plasma whip. Keth charged left. Flank him. Evan went right, low and fast. Deck plates rattled under boots. Bomber lashed out. Whip cracked air inches from Evan's face. Ozone sting in his nose. He rolled under it, grabbed a loose conduit pipe. Swing hard, connected with the bomber's elbow. Crack of chitin. Keth fired suppressor rounds. Net pulses stuttered. Bomber roared, dropped to one knee. Evan tackled from behind, pinning arms. Got the trigger. Cable ties bit into wrists. Improvised again. Saili vaulted a railing. Gauntlets interfacing the core console. Power surge incoming.
Cut the net! Kef slashed conduits with his vibroblade. Sparks flew.
Detonator lights winked out. One by one. 047. 046. Evan held the bomber down, knee in his back. Alien thrashed, mandibles clacking curses in Veyron dialect. Sweat burned Evan's grazed arm, but he locked it. Net dead, Keth confirmed. He hauled the bomber up, cuffed beside the first. 2 seals now. Proof stacked. Alarms hit maximum. Klaxons deafened. Bulkheads groaned as squads breached the far hatch. Blaster fire pinged off coils. Shuttle bays locked. Saili snapped.
Purge cycle manual. Cores overloading.
Evan released the bomber. Scanned the panel. Alien glyphs but checklists adapted. Red levers pulsed. Emergency purge. Cover me. He leapt to the core. Heat waves shimmered air. Saili flanked left. Plasma arcs ready. Keth dragged prisoners behind a coil stack. First squad burst in. 10 armored Virons, rifles raised.
Human traitor! Surrender the princess!
Evan ignored them. Flipped lever 1. Coolant vents hissed. Blaster bolts scorched the panel beside his hand.
He ducked, yanked lever 2. Steam billowed, obscuring sightlines.
Saili fired. 2 guards dropped. Shields flickering. Evan, third lever. Now. Bolt grazed his shoulder. Pain flared. Hot and sharp. He gritted teeth. Hauled the final lever. Gears ground. Purge initiated. Coils vented plasma in controlled bursts. Gallery shook, but held. Keth picked off 3 more. Push them back. Evan shielded Saili instinctively, arm over her as debris rained. She leaned into it. Gauntlet syncing the purge readout. Green lights. Cycle complete. Squad retreated. Hatches sealing. Silence fell, broken only by prisoner wheezes. Saili straightened. Eyed Evan's burns. You bleed easily, yet persist. Job's not done. Evan wiped blood, reloaded mental checklist. Prisoners secure.
Path to throne chamber clear? Keth nodded.
Tribunal feeds live. Threxel watches.
They marched the bombers through service tunnels. Saili overrode locks with royal overrides.
Minutes later, throne antechamber. Guards parted. Ket's glare and the seals did the work. Main hall erupted as they entered. Holoscreens replayed gallery feed. Human tackling bomber purging core. Oren Vale stood rigid at the dais, frills flat. Courtiers whispered, eyes on Evan. Regent King Threxel loomed on the throne, multifaceted eyes unblinking. Report. Saili shoved the first bomber forward. Seal glinted under lights. Orun's agent. Vault breach. Crystal sabotage. She thrust the second at his feet. Reactor gallery detonator net. Manual purge by the human.
Execution squads deployed prematurely.
Threxel's claws tapped the armrest. Proof? Evan dropped the disarmed triggers. Timestamps match. Vombraces etched with Chamberlain's sigil. Aruan stepped forward. Voice smooth. Fabrications. Human desperation. He flees justice. Silence. Threxel's command froze the chamber.
He signaled guards. Scanners hummed over prisoners.
Sigils verified. Faction ties confirmed.
Saili's spines flared. Purge Oruan's network.
Now. They seek my throne through chaos. Courtiers shifted. Oruan's allies paled, frills quivering. Threxel leaned forward. Eyed Evan. Bloodied, steady. Human. You upend procedure.
Why?
Evan met the gaze. No bow, no flourish. Rescue specialist. Checklists don't care about thrones. A ripple through the court. Threxel rose. The human proves loyalty beyond kin. Protected status envoy. Full diplomatic immunity. Gasps echoed. Orun's face twisted.
Furthermore, Threxel boomed. Formal channel to humanity opens at dawn. Envoy Rook coordinates.
Fail him and stability fractures.
Saili gripped Evan's arm.
Not pawn. Orun bowed stiffly, retreating with handlers. Court buzzed, shock waves spreading. Evan felt eyes lock on him. Scapegoat flipped. Now leverage. Keth clapped his shoulder. Doctrine rewritten. Alarm silenced. But shadows lingered. Orun's purge wouldn't end clean. Threxel's voice cut through. Envoy, your first directive? Evan scanned the hall. Checklist extended. Secure the princess. Vet the court. Threxel's eyes gleamed. Begin. Kevin followed Sayeli through gilded corridors to her sealed wing. Guards doubled. Keth's pick. Wounds throbbed, but med packs hummed on his arm, sealing burns with alien gel. Rest, she said, iris sealing behind them. Private chamber. Helix crystals pulsed softly on walls. He shook head. Perimeter check first. Her spine's relaxed fraction.
You shield without order?
Why?
Training.
He tested the viewport seals. Humans do rescue. No politics attached. Vayrans calculate alliances. Vayrans calculate alliances. You, act, door chime. Keth entered, helmet under, arm.
Oran confined.
3 arrests. War seals surfacing. Evan nodded. Good, but watch the Regent King's tools. Keth's mandibles parted in alien grin. Human endurance shifts patrols. Double shifts now feasible. Siley interfaced to console.
Holomap bloomed, court factions color-coded.
Orrune's red cluster shrank. Purge accelerates. Your status forces it.
Evan traced a green outlier.
Her claw brushed his. Test passed. Throne comms crackled. Threxel Envoy Rook. Humanity Contact Protocol. Evan activated his wrist comment, first contact beacon primed from crash landing. Signal beamed to stars. This is Evan Rook. Protected envoy to Veyra throne. Request formal dialogue. Earth relay. Copy Rook. Fleet en route.
Hold position. Court would reel tomorrow.
Human fleet. Unclassified variable. Siley watched the stars. They come for you. For stability. Evan echoed the bomber's cry. Rye. Kef laughed. Rare bark. Orruin underestimated. We adapt. Night cycle dimmed lights. Evan stood watch. Ordinary checklist.
Extraordinary court.
But one shadow seal glinted in his mind. Purge. Incomplete. Dawn broke with fanfare. Tribunal reconvened. Crowded tense. Oran chained at center, faction purged. A dozen courtiers in binders. Threxel presided. Envoy Rook enters. Evan strode in. Siley at side. Keth flanking. No blood this time. Clean fatigues. Humanity's ping echoed hall-wide. Sol Alliance confirms. Envoy status acknowledged. Diplomatic vessel ETA. 48 cycles. Courtiers surged. Frills wild. Unvetted. Orruin sneered. Chaos incarnate.